FlatsClass fans, Captain CA here, and today I'm working off my tailgate. Sounds kind of weird, doesn't it? Well, I actually am. I'm getting some gear ready. I have two back-to-back trips with some important clients and want to show them good time. And recently, both on a shoot that I had with Justin Price and a trip down to Matlacha, Florida, we've had some real good success on Topwater. But I want to share what Topwater profile and some of the changes we've made to it. So let's come over to the tailgate here. We're going to talk about that, and that's going to be the lesson on FlatsClass today. Okay, I know you're excited about learning something about topwater. It's visual. Everyone wants to catch fish on topwater. And with my recent success, especially, fishing springtime, we're fishing shallower zones. And this little hack or trick is super effective on these lower tides in the morning when the water's kind of slicked out. It's working well in the creeks, but just mimicking the small finger mullet that you see this time of year in many of these shallow lagoons and flats, it can be a huge advantage. I mean, there's still a lot of hefty sized gator trout up skinny early in the morning. And many of the snook now have moved out to some longer points on the outside of islands. Some of them even moved out to the swashes on the beach. So this is a way that you can cast a smaller topwater and get good results, because for years I've always been a Mirrolure Top Dog Junior or at least the She Dog or She Pup and Top Pup. But lately it seems like you have to have a little bit slicker mousetrap to catch more fish. And I have moved down to that Mullet XL size, like so, and which is the 26, and the Mullet itself, which is the 16 MR. Now this particular size is about 3.5 inches long and it weighs 1/2 ounce. It makes for a nice clean straight cast. You don't have this big, it looks like a softball hitting the water, poof, and you got to wait for all the ripples to go away. You can make a cast with one of these Mullet XLs, feather it down a little bit, and it'll drop nice and straight. It doesn't make a big disturbance on the water, and then you can start walking it back to the boat with some good results. But let's talk about why I don't have any hooks on this next. Let's take a look at these hooks. Now, for all of you that are thinking, why aren't you using a single inline hook? Well, I'll address that after we hook the plug up. But for now, the hook on the left is the stock hook, and the hook on the right is a KVD Mustad triple grip hook. You can see the angle of the hook point, how it aims or is pointed back to the connector. For me, this is just a better positive hook set. The wire is a little thinner, you'll notice that. The gap between the shank and the point itself is greater on the Mustads. And they just do a fantastic job on topwater. Because of this improvement, I find that a lot of my clients, when a clumsy redfish is trying to crawl all over this plug, he inadvertently gets hooked up without them ever setting the hook. It does that good a job. So let's break it down a little bit more on the lure itself. All right, I promised I was going to address some of the reasons why I changed. First thing to just repeat, if you really look at this hook, you'll see how the triple grip effect, where the angle of the point moves back toward where the hook is connected to the split ring. That's that triple grip effect on those KVD Mustad hooks. Really works. Why am I not using an inline hook? if I use an inline hook on topwater, especially these smaller topwaters, it does seem like I miss a lot of fish and my hook ratio goes down. It goes up with these. Now I do realize I do not want to kill a fish. I don't want it to get too deep in the throat. I don't want it to get entangled in a net and then take so much time trying to untangle the fish with the open hook here that you can't get it out. So use a rubberized basket net for one, and then just take your pliers and mash the barbs down on all of these trebles. If you do that and you keep constant contact, you're not going to lose any fish, and you will, I promise, you will be able to release the fish unharmed by mashing those barbs down. I do not lose fish with mashed down barbs. I do it on all plugs, just not these. Now I took the liberty to get ahead of myself, and on the 16 MR, the little bit smaller, now this is a 3-inch bait. It also weighs about 3/8 of an ounce, so it's a little bit lighter. So if you're working a little bit smaller zone or the water's super slick, this might be a better choice. You'll notice that that Mirrolure puts that little split ring so that you can make a direct connection with your leader material. You can do that, but many times I just take some split ring pliers and I take that off and just tie the same loop knot that I have right here that you can see on my Mullet XL. And that gives me that hinging effect so I can walk the dog with these plugs. What type of outfit or rod and reel combo am I utilizing to still make efficient casts but have enough nimbleness to work these two smaller topwaters in the Mirrolure lineup? I'm going to show you that right now. All right, got the rod in hand here. This is going to be a Terramar PX from Shimano. It's a 7-foot medium rod. Here are the specs for you guys. Has a lure weight of 3/8 to 1 ounce. So this rod is fairly crisp, but not like a Terramar XX. It's a little softer. Perfect for throwing these weighted plugs between a 3/8 and the 1/2 ounce in the Mirrolure series. For me, it's rated for Power Pro line weights of 10 to 30 pounds, but I'm using a Stratic 3000. Now I packed this, if you noticed when I was showing you the hooks, with 8-pound braid. That gives me that long cast, because the whole idea behind throwing a topwater plug is projecting the cast as far as you can to cover as much water as you can, and find those aggressive fish that have no idea that you're standing on the bow of your boat. You're thrown into another zip code. 8-pound does that for me. Leader material, I actually use a 30-pound leader material. I use usually about 1 foot to 1.5 feet of 30-pound leader material. Why 30? In the spring in particular, there are many instances where you will catch some really big snook working a topwater plug. They haven't moved off to the spawning areas yet, so many of those fish that are in that 34+ inch size are lurking in the same spots that redfish and big speckled trout are. So it's good to have a little insurance and at least have 30. Also, the stiffness of 30, as you can see, it's pretty stiff, allows you to work this plug and not get that front hook to catch that leader, especially on the hard cast or if you're casting across the wind. Now, when I'm manipulating this rod tip, I'm kind of just jumping slack like that so I can get that straight walk the dog effect that most of you have learned from dad or grandpa. But here's a little bonus tip. When you're walking that dog back and forth and you've covered about 15 or 20 yards and nothing's happened yet, stop it for a second. Just let it sit for maybe a 1 count, 2 count. Then reel it straight so it just wakes like a mullet, and then pick up the walk again. You will be surprised how many fish just trash this plug when you do that. Try that little angle there. Now, like I do in every one of these videos, if you're learning things here on FlatsClass YouTube, Just reach right over here and push that button and subscribe. Share this with your friends, your fishing club. I want you in my virtual classroom every week, and we drop videos almost every day now. So need that support. With your support, we can take this channel to places you will not believe. It may be what I do in the future, period, teaching you all how to fish. Now, my clients are relying on me, so I got to get back to work and tie the rest of these rods up. But hope to see you next time right here on FlatsClass YouTube.